I enjoyed every day of it. Everybody that I worked with, the staff, and mostly the lawyers. And the lawyers is what I enjoyed most about sitting as a judge. Lived here in town, and I played on every playground in the city, it seems like. And I went to all the grammar schools and high schools, and but I didn't finish high school in Charleston. I couldn't. They just couldn't get me out of there. So Effie Seabrook was our football coach at that time. So Effie's son and I went to prep school up in North Carolina to play football and to get out of high school. And when I got out of that, I came home, and I was drafted into the Army, and I served 2 years in the Army. When I got out of the service, I came home and went to the Citadel as a veteran student. After playing a couple of years of football at the Citadel, I quit playing football. They said to me that I could quit football, but I couldn't quit them. And they said, we're going to bring you onto the staff, or the good football staff, and make a student coach or student manager. Finished that, married my wonderful wife, Ruthie Mallard. Ruthie Hills was her maiden name. And she lived in Somerville, and I married her, and we moved right here to the city, and I continued my education and working at the Citadel. I had a very good friend, Charlie Darby. He's a doctor, pediatrician at the Medical University, and he was going to be a profession. He was going into a profession, and I said, that's what I want to do. And just the more I found out about the legal profession and what it was all about and everything, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. I was a sole practitioner. When I was finishing law school, I knew I wanted to go ahead into the practice. And so I did. I went and I started at 63 Broad, right down here. Alan Legree owned that building, and I was right up over here for several years. 8 years, in fact. I practiced law for only 8 years. I say only, but most of them. And then, in those days, after it was 1970, I believe it was, the local legislative delegation elected the local judges. And so I was approached about the judgeship in family court, and so I applied for it, and I got it. And the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it. Everybody was kind, and they got a big word or two for that. But in fact, they give the lawyers courses on how to be nice and how to be and all now. Those things have all changed, and the computers have come into the courts, and I'm amazed at the lawyers that could sit up there with their laptops in the courtroom and take down everything right there. Blah, 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 blah. I just had a yellow pad and a pen that I could take notes in, and that was fine. I liked that way. The children, I can remember the children. And I loved adoptions. I loved hearing adoptions, and in that situation, you were able to put something together where, with a divorce and custody, you're taking a family apart, but you could put a family together with adoption, and I loved adoption. First of all, they've got to know the law and don't try to fly on a wing through a case. But they have to prepare themselves. It's just that client that comes that they have they bring into court, especially, that's the most important thing to them, and the lawyers have to be aware of that and treat them as such and be prepared.